Audio check 1 2 3. Audio check 1 2 3. Hey guys, AJ Town here, live with the T-Storm Chasers, ready to start breaking things down and bringing you a weather alert that we really need to be watching over the course of the next 36 hours. We are talking about severe weather for the Dakotas, the Nebraskas, into Iowa. We're talking tornado outbreak into Iowa and into Illinois area and down into the Missouri area, where we're going to see a really large tornado outbreak possibility as we get through the day on Friday. So we definitely want to stick tuned and watch this. Be sure to send it to your friends and family. Let's get them weather aware as we start to really break things down. Watch this low pressure system that's right behind us, what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. Folks, we're going to see our first possibility of seeing some severe weather in the South Dakota area coming tonight. So that is definitely something that we're going to want you guys to stay weather aware tonight. And those of you that have friends and family in Iowa, definitely stay weather aware as we go through the day tomorrow, because we are talking of a large possibility of a tornado outbreak. Give me just a quick second. My dog is barking, so I want to check the camera real quick, and I certainly do apologize there. And give me just a quick second here. It's not loading. As I know many of you are tuning in here and are like, dude, what's going on? You're taking a quick break here. Yep. All right. All's good and all's well. Anyways, jumping back here. We are going to really start breaking things down here, folks. Let's dive right in this real quick. We want to mention a winter storm watch that is in effect for the areas there in orange. Does not include the Sioux Falls area. Would not be surprised, though, if we did see maybe a winter weather advisory issued, but definitely something to keep a close eye on is this winter storm watch as we do come into tomorrow. As we come into tomorrow evening, or tomorrow, we are going to be looking at a winter weather advisory there for the areas in green as a winter storm moves through that area as well. One thing we're going to really jump into and we're going to dive into right away, because there is this severe threat, and we definitely need to discuss this severe threat as we go through the day today. So primarily the area there in, you can see the SPC map there, that does include the Sioux Falls area, Yankton area, and down into Nebraska. The marginal risk, so that's going to be about a 1 out of 5, so it's not a huge risk. About a 20% chance is what we are seeing here. Primarily threat is going to be that large hail is going to be what that is. As we take a quick closer look here, of the area there in green. You can see it does include the south of the Brookings area, down into North Platte, north of Grand Island, down into Sioux City area, and Sioux Falls area there in areas to the east. You can see that green area right there on the screen. Now, this is what I am talking about, the reason we are doing this live stream so early and getting you guys weather aware. Look at this map here, guys. You can see that red. That is a 4 out of 5. That is an extremely high risk of seeing some severe weather. What are our primary threats? You can see them right here. We do have that tornado threat. We do have damaging winds, large hail. Flooding is going to be a risk. Now, this is for eastern Iowa. Let's zoom in on this here a little better so you guys can see where exactly I'm talking about. Now, this is going to be east of the I-35 corridor that we are primarily looking at. It's going to be in eastern Iowa, western Illinois, in extreme southwestern Wisconsin area, and extreme northeastern Missouri that we are watching here. As we go through the day on Friday there, that tornado threat is going to be in that orange there that we are seeing that 10% risk. So definitely a severe weather risk that we are watching for tomorrow. Now, if you have friends, family, or any relatives or anything that you know of in this Iowa area, definitely get this shared with them. Let's get them weather aware. Now is the time to prep for this because we are going to see a possibility of a large tornado outbreak in this area. Damaging wind is also going to be a primary threat with this as well. This is going to be the greatest risk that we are going to be seeing with this there in that pink area, which does include that area that we saw that red hatch in, that we're going to be watching that very, very closely here over the course of the next 24 hours and really seeing this system develop. Now, as we jump into this, let's jump into a quick look at, we're going to switch over here. Let's take a quick look at the next 48 hours, what we're looking at for timing. When is the system supposed to start moving in, and when is it really going to impact the Dakotas as well, as far as seeing some severe weather risk as well. About 9 o'clock at night, we start to see those storms develop there down by that Norfolk, Nebraska area, Highway 81 corridor there, Pierce, Nebraska. We are starting to see things develop there. About 9 o'clock tonight is what we are watching. That'll continue to progress its way northeastward and move into the Dakotas through the overnight hours, or late evening into the overnight hours. We can start seeing some cells develop there about 10 o'clock right along that Yankton County, Clay County area there that we are watching fairly close. You can see this next system here about that 11 o'clock that is moving in from the Nebraska area there into Yankton area there, Highway 81 corridor. Definitely something we are watching very, very closely here. Now, as we go in that Highway 81 corridor, Highway 18 south of I-90, there about midnight, we really start seeing these develop. Now, what is the primarily threat with this is going to be your damaging hail that we are looking at. We're not looking at a wind event. We're not looking at a tornado event. However, an isolated tornado might be possible, and I do mean very, very isolated tornado risk with this one. As we do go into the next slide here, about 1 o'clock in the morning here, that system is pushing through the Sioux Falls areas. These are moving at a very fast pace. And then as we go into there about your 2 o'clock time frame, you can see that's really impacting the I-90 corridor and finally moving off eastward. Now we have to watch the snow system that we are watching out west as that continues to progress its way eastward. That will move into the Sioux Falls area about your commute home tomorrow. And that is where we are going to see the snow developing through the South Dakota into Iowa and Nebraska area is going to be right after that 3-4 o'clock time frame is what we are watching. Now, what am I talking about for the severe weather? Let's jump into that here. Now, we're going to have some isolated showers and storms move through the area through the overnight hours for that area there that was hatched. Now, this is what we are talking about right here, folks, is we are looking right about that 1, 2, then as we get into about that 4 o'clock time frame, we really start to see things develop here. 4 or 5 o'clock is what we are watching with this system as it starts to develop into a linear system and pushing its way off eastward. Now, these pop-up storms that are going to happen, you can see right through here about that 1:30 time frame is what we are looking at for these pop-up showers forming in the area here as we go into tonight or into tomorrow. About that 1:30 in the afternoon is what we are seeing. Things really start to get ramped up for the Cedar Rapids area, eastern Iowa area. Again, we don't have to worry about the Dakotas per se for this system, but we do have to definitely worry about eastern Iowa as we go into tomorrow. So definitely going to see some severe weather risk moving through that area tomorrow. Now, what are we looking at? When is this system going to really start pushing it through? You can see by the European model here as we put this map into motion. We do expect this to move out of the area by Friday overnight here and into Saturday morning. Then we do watch another little clipper system that pushes through here on Tuesday into Wednesday. We're watching another low pressure system that is going to bring us another chance of seeing some snow showers push through the area as well. Good news is, though, as we go into the Easter weekend there, we're not really seeing much of another system pushing through the area coming into that Easter weekend and even on Easter Sunday. But temps are going to definitely cool down some, and we are going to see some of that as well come into Easter weekend as well. Let's take a quick closer look at home here as we do start things about this. Let's go 000 Zulu here about this 21 Zulu. We do see those systems pushing through. And then as we come in about that 06 Zulu, so that's going to be about your midnight time frame. We really see things ramp up here as well. Those snow showers pushing along the I-90 corridor. You can see that heavier band of snow sitting over the central portions of South Dakota, moving out of the area here by Saturday morning, and then clearing up for the rest of the weekend. And then as we come into Tuesday is when we are watching that next snow system progress and move into and through the area as well. Again, then as we come into Friday, Saturday, Good Friday, Saturday, and then Easter weekend, we're not looking much more of another system. Now, as we were talking severe weather risk, let's talk about that here, folks. As we come into the midnight hour there, you can see this area here, and that is going to be that hatched area that we were talking about on the Storm Prediction Center as far as seeing that severe risk push through. That'll continue to progress its way eastward. Now, as we go into Friday evening, this is where we are talking about seeing that greatest severe thunderstorm risk and seeing that greatest severe weather risk for the eastern Iowa area as well as northern Illinois and extreme southern Wisconsin there as well. Good news is then as we go through the rest of the weekend and into next week, we're not looking at much more of severe weather. Possibility of it on Tuesday, just of a little clipper system. Not confident on that severe weather risk, but definitely something to keep an eye on. And then as we go into Tuesday into Wednesday, the same area is getting hit again, folks, with this severe weather as well. As we go through the rest of the week, again, we're not expecting any severe weather with that. Let's jump into, we do have that ice accumulation risk coming through the day on Friday. That's why we have that winter storm warning out for a lot of that area there that you did see earlier. And then as we do see there, that ice accumulation is going to be that area there in purple. We're watching a glazing to maybe a quarter inch of ice. Not much of an accumulation for ice. What are we looking at snow totals, folks, as we come into Saturday, as that system progresses out of the area, we're right around that 1 to 3 inch mark. Some areas could see upwards to a foot, and that's going to be that more of a moisture filled system. So I think what's happening with this European model is it's picking up more of it as a rain and converting it over to a snow system versus what really is going to happen. I don't think we're going to see that 2 feet of snow in some areas. So my confidence isn't high that this map is 100% accurate, but about that 1 to 3 for the Sioux Falls area definitely going to be possible coming through the day on Friday. So, as we did mention here, what does a severe thunderstorm criteria meet? 1 inch hail in diameter or greater, 58 mile per hour or stronger winds, and tornado activity. Now, this was something that was put out by the National Weather Service. This was not something that we created. Now, one thing that you heard us talk about was that scale 4 out of 5. And now this is a look at it as far as what we are seeing, what that risk is. A 4 out of 5 is widespread severe storms likely, long-lived, strong tornadoes, widespread wind damage, destructive hail is definitely all that we are watching here very, very closely for tomorrow. What are we looking at for the Sioux Falls area is going to be that green area, is that marginal risk, seeing an isolated thunderstorm, winds 40 to 60 miles an hour, hail up to 1 inch risk. Does mention, like I said, a tornado risk. My confidence for that tornado risk is very, very small. So definitely something to keep a close eye on as we go into the next 36 hours is going to be this next storm system that is really ramping up and moving through that area. We'll go back to the HRRR model run here real quick, kind of do a future cast. Again, kind of show you guys that the system starts to show some severe weather about 10, 11 o'clock at night, pushing through the area here about 3, 4, 5, and then we'll get the break as the sun comes out, and then we'll see some snow come into the afternoon. Again, the other thing that we got to watch, and with this low pressure system as it moves through the area, is how strong these storms out east of us get, because they can actually grab and take some of the moisture out of the back end of the storm system. So that would mean that the snow totals would be less, rain totals would be less, ice accumulation would be less. So definitely going to be something that we are going to be watching closely, as well as how strong these storms get out east of us and see what we are looking at. So again, for the area here in green, be sure to be weather aware. That does include the Sioux Falls area. Isolated thunderstorm risk, primary threat is going to be your hail, as we did take a quick look at that map here. As we go into tomorrow, a very severe weather outbreak is going to be possible. And again, we cannot reiterate, share this with your friends, family, so they are aware of timing as well. The area there in red is where our greatest concern. This is not our map. This is the Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma that put this together. So stay tuned with T-Storm Chasers. We'll have your continuous coverage as severe weather starts to break out tonight. And then we might even jump into doing some severe weather coverage with this storm system out east in the Iowa area. We don't, as of right now, plan on chasing it. The only way we would is if this does shift westward some. So again, stay with T-Storm Chasers. We will continue to monitor the latest weather news and information as events does happen. Again, this has been AJ Town live with the T-Storm Chasers. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Have a great day, and we'll be back.